Welcome, John L. Scott, to another edition or installment, whatever word works for you, of Success Stories. And I have a really good friend, Mindy Hibbard, who's here with us today. And first, let's just get started, because some people may not know you. How did you get into real estate? What did you do before, and how did you end up in real estate?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So I actually have an uncle who used to be a lieutenant colonel in the Army. And he came to me one day and said, hey, your husband's in construction. I think you'd be a great realtor. And I said, really? I hadn't really thought of that. So I kind of went there in my head, and I decided to take the test, passed, and off I went. Started out in a small brokerage in Snohomish, and then needed some branding, so came over to John L. Scott.
And what part of being with John L. Scott has been the most exciting, most valuable, most fulfilling in terms of your career?
I really appreciate that Lennox and his entire team keeps us as associate brokers on the cutting edge. I feel like when I step into an appointment, I'm prepared, I'm ready to go, things are on point, and I'm confident.
So, Lieutenant Colonel, is that what you said? Mm-hmm. So, you stand up straight, you pay attention. Okay, so what did you do before for him to say, hey, you should try real estate? What were you
So my prior work experience was in retail management. So I managed people. I had a great time doing that. I just really wanted a personability on a different level. And I think he saw that, kind of read between the lines, and realized maybe that I wasn't using my talents to the best of my ability. And so when he found out that I was going to head back to the workforce after 8 years of being a stay-at-home mom, he just said, Mindy, I really think you'd be good at this. He now is retired, and he goes around the country helping businesses really get off the floor. Like if they've fallen flat, he is a consultant and helps them. And so I really took his advice to heart.
So he had something. He figured it out. He obviously saw what needed to be said.
He saw it, and it was great.
And you listened.
And I'm so thankful.
Right. But you listened. That's important. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So in your real estate business, I'm assuming a big chunk of it comes from people that you're connected to. Is that a fair assumption?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what is it that you do when you interact with them that triggers their ability or their desire to recommend you to the people they care about?
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. So I make a promise to each one of my clients when I'm sitting at the table with them, whether they're a buyer or a seller, and that is that I will absolutely do my best job to knock it out of the park for them, and that any referrals they send my way, they have my commitment that I will treat that referral, whether it be a friend, a coworker, a family member, with that same quality.
And they feel that. So it sounds like an experiential thing. Mm-hmm. May I ask, when is it that you have this conversation with them? It's just at that first initial meeting, throughout the process? When do you have that meeting?
Throughout the process, and they can truly count on me. I do answer my phone. I consider answering your phone a great opportunity. People can see that a couple different ways, an opportunity or an annoyance. But I choose to pick up my phone, return phone calls timely and promptly. My clients know they can depend upon me, and that I am there for them with the details that really matter.
So in what way have you used your online presence to build your business and your success?
Yes. Branding's key. And in the last year and a half, I've really focused on branding, a consistency and an identifiable marker of authenticity online for myself and for my company in general, and representing John L. Scott. So I would encourage associate brokers to really focus in on that and keep a consistency online that's dependable and people know that it's real and truly you. When you're speaking to them.
I hear the word dependable, which to me connotes competence and care and expertise, kind of all blended into that word. You have a very distinct logo, it's your initials, and the other word you used, the C word, was consistency. So you have consistent competence is what it sounds like to me. So people know when they see your stuff, especially Instagram, like it's identifiable. You're always in that space, and that you're super competent. And so to use that to convey that, do you use it for lead capture or lead generation or lead conversion?
Yes. In general, I would say that I use it mainly to be that identifiable marker for people to understand a quality that they get when they work with me. Also, just keeping things really ultimately identifiable, and being a notable, recognizable place in the market.
So in your previous career with this management and leading people, what elements of that did you bring into real estate that has made you successful?
I tend to be fairly administrative, a leader by nature. I am happy with those people that are initially right around me in support every day, helping me, making me better, believing in me, and I truly appreciate that. Those are just those right arm people that I trust. So my circle of trust tends to be small. I tend to be fairly organized as a result of working in retail and in management, and it's also helped me personality adapt with different walks of life.
And I would imagine those people that see your online presence get that your ability to be organized translates into the trust they have in you, because oftentimes, not in your case, but often in residential resale, the idea of realtors can sometimes be less than organized or less than professional. There's certainly a segment, and we would certainly hope at John L. Scott that that's who we are and how we do our business. But to the consumer, it's not always the case. So part of your brand is that it's really clear that you're organized, because their world and what you're going to do for them is important. And if you're not organized, how do you show care if you're not going to treat their time and this process and journey with respect and dignity? That's what comes across to me when I watch your brand.
Thank you.
So what's the most important tactic or strategy or tool that you use to convert those engagements or those curiosities or those referrals into business, that you actually convert that so that you'll be in a space where you'll actually transact with people?
Yes. So when I'm in a social setting, I found it interesting over about 15 years-ish of doing this, that if I just allow others to talk and I listen, I learn a lot about them, which in turn creates an ability to just express my interest in their life and who they are. Making those personal phone calls if I'm driving and someone comes to mind, it blows their mind if I pick up my phone, leave them a voicemail knowing they're busy too, but when they get a break, they'll listen to that message that just says, hey, you're on my mind today. How's your life? What's going on? Shoot me a text, email, message me, and let's connect. So it's that true interest in others' lives. Also, when I go into an appointment, I think using the tools that John L. Scott has given us in our black and white boxes, keeping those sharp and on point, brings a confidence when you head into an appointment. When you're ready to sit down at the table with someone, a client, you go in with confidence and expertise, and it empowers you to be your best at that appointment.
You know, I'm listening to there's so many things that you're talking about that are so deep and profound. The first one, though, is Dale Carnegie in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. He says it's more important to be interested than interesting. And I find that in real estate, maybe in all sales. So I wouldn't try to disparage our particular industry, but most people, put up stuff to make them look like they're the number one agent or choose me because I'm the best, whatever. But you're interested in what's going on in their lives. You're paying attention to them. They're the proverbial center of the universe, and you're just here to observe, to absorb, and to pay attention and to see if there's a way that you can help. That's massive, because that's kind of the antithesis of what happens in sales. It's usually all about the salesperson, and you're making it all about the consumer or the person that you're connected to or connecting with.
Yes.
And I think that's massive.
Emmanuel, as you do that, and as associate brokers do that, your business will expand and naturally grow. It's a magnetic process. It gravitates people to you, and it just comes really natural at that point.
So were there ever times that you got so nervous that you tried to sell, or you're just natural at this?
Yes, I have tried to sell. And I've learned that if I cared at any juncture about a transaction or a file more than the actual participants in that file, the buyer and the seller, it became about me. And at that point, things failed. So learning from failures is really important in this business. Navigating forward in the form of confidence, in the form of strength is so important and vital to the success of your business.
I think of it as committed, not attached. So if you're committed to them, to their best interest, to their end result, whatever that is, to sell by, sometimes it's in crisis. So if you're committed to them and not attached to the end result for you, you behave differently.
Absolutely.
Although that does take guts, particularly when sometimes that paycheck that is a result of this transaction is there, it's certainly the back of our minds. So to set that aside so that they are paramount is huge. You wouldn't be at the level you would be if you're thinking transactionally with these people. You're thinking relationship with these people. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Great. So what would be one question that I've forgotten that I should have asked that would be beneficial to our broker associates?
I would say what keeps you in this business and keeps you going. I find real estate to be fairly demanding. There's a lot that goes out every day. And I think every morning waking up with this mindset of, I want to win the day. I want to win the week. I want to have an aroma about me that blesses other people. That is a natural strength. And again, part of that gravitation of others to you as a person. Consider yourself and present yourself as a resource in the marketplace. And that could be, with vendors or a reference list. It could be about a variety of topics, real estate obviously being one of those, but other topics as well.
Aroma around me. So to attract. Love that. One final question. So if there was one word in which you would use to describe John L. Scott, either as a culture, as a company, as a thought leader, as an industry leader, one word that you would use to describe that company, us, what would that word be?
Elevated.
Elevated. Tell us more.
So I've looked at several platforms, and I feel that John L. Scott absolutely sets us up to succeed every day. So our platform's intuitive, it's innovative, it's useful by very techie people. I may not consider myself the most techie, but I do have people around me that absolutely respect our platform and the money that Lennox and the team puts back into us and into the platforms. It's something to believe in, it's elevated, and the grass is not greener elsewhere.
Love that. Wow, thank you. Thank you for your generosity, your time. And folks, make sure you watch this again, because there's stuff here that's really important. Thank you for taking the time, and we look forward to talking again with you soon.
And one more thing I want to mention. One thought to leave you with today. So just kind of as I reflect and I drive down the road and listen to music, things that empower me as a person, I think every day if you look at your life, and I think Emmanuel will appreciate this, as a symphony. So an elaborate musical composition made up of 4 parts, and sonata being one of those, that you'll naturally bless others. Just own your share of the market and let it play.